Hello, what is happening, fan base, and welcome back to another episode of Honest Descriptions. Today, we will be honestly describing every generation of Pokemon. Note that the word honest definitely has quotation marks, and that the word descriptions is
spicy. Oh, yes.
If you are the faint of heart, I suggest turning a blind eye to the masterfulness of this video. Not to pat myself on the back too hard or anything, but this was requested, and it was requested for me to do a lot of Pokemon honest descriptions, so we'll start with this one. Although I already have one planned for every legendary in Pokemon, so feel free to subscribe. Being that I am a mathematical wizard, I will be going in order of numbers, starting with Gen 1 and going through Gen 7. I know most people would have predicted me going in alphabetical order in this situation, but no, much to everyone's surprise, I will be doing it like this. So, without further ado, let's begin. Pokemon Generation 1. Before Pokemon realized that it actually wanted to implement, an actual story, they were like, this is going to be purely based on a fantastical adventure world where you can capture animals and force them to cockfight each other until they pass out for money. And we'll be selling it to 10-year-old children so they can have an incredible time traveling throughout the land, finding 151 Pokemon, even though 50% of the Pokemon encountered are either Zubats or Tentacools.
I'm gonna stick my tentacle up your fucking ass.
Oh no.
Oh, but we care about them. They're not purely tools of mass destruction for us. We have a cemetery for our pets, and it's extremely touching. Everyone, please remember the cemetery. I will be making fun of it in my honest description of Generation 2. So despite the fact that everyone complains, Gen 1 is one of the weakest generations. No one's actually saying that. I'm just saying this for emphasis. Gen 1 sucks. It doesn't have a story like the brilliant, crafted, cutscene-infested Sun and Moon games, which I will be describing soon, and it'll be fun. Epic foreshadowing. But then you realize, no. Game Freak is all about the subliminal messaging. The themes inlaid within the genius of this game are far more powerful than you can even conceive. That is correct. Pokemon is more woke than anything ever. This came out in 1996. And how does the game begin? With Professor Oak, a Pokemon professor with extremely good eyesight, looks at you and then says, are you a boy or a girl? Immediately not assuming your gender like an absolute mad lad. Professor Oak, more like Professor Woke! Bruh. You could play this game as a boy or a girl, and no matter what you choose, even after choosing, Professor Woke will give you the liberty to decide that for yourself. This is something unheard of in 1996. Thank you, Professor. Very cool. It's not like it's just because he's dumb or anything, because he forgot his own grandson's name. No, he's an actual mastermind, even within the lore of the game. I mean, he sent off this 10-year-old kid on a journey so he could bang his mom. The guy's not stupid. And his grandson, to be fair, was a total dick for absolutely no reason, and potentially one of the most douchey rivals of all time, so I personally would have forgotten his name as well. That is, if I wouldn't have named him after a different one of my teachers or principals every single time I would play Pokemon Fire Red when I was a kid. But that aside, Professor Woke is an absolute mad lad, unlike the enemies of this game, Team Rocket. Now, maybe it was not like this when Kanto was remade in Gen 3, but the Gen 1 Red game, for example, did not have any female Team Rocket members. That is correct. Those absolute sexist monsters. They think women can't do crime right. They could do crime just as well as any man. I firmly believe saying that only men could be good bad guys is sexist against women, because they could be very good bad guys as well. But I'm not hating on anyone that created Pokemon. No, it just creates a fascinating dichotomy. You have the light side of the Force, being the Professor Woke side, asking you if you're a boy or a girl as the game begins. Then you have the dark side of the Force, the Team Rocket members and their quest to be gangsters, make a ton of money, take over the president of the country, but also not respect women. To be fair, these guys were criminal masterminds. I mean, if you walk into the Viridian gym and you click the main guy in the beginning that always gives you tips, he'll say, I actually don't even know who this gym leader is. But if you click on the statue where it says the name, it's like, name of gym leader, Giovanni. So clearly he was doing something right, fooling everyone, even though his name was on the door. Very cool, Giovanni. Very cool. But that aside, what Gen 1 was an incredible adventure. That Pokemon is an adventure of the mind, not of the body, which is why psychic types were absolutely and completely broken. First of all, they had this special stat, which mixed special attack and special defense. And if you know anything about how Pokemon works, that's ridiculous. Not to mention, Kadabra was one of the fastest Pokemon in the game, and even without evolving him to Alakazam, you could still one-shot everyone with him alone.
You're too slow.
Oh, but never fear, both ghost types and bug types are super effective on psychic type. I mean, dark types too, but they didn't exist yet. And as far as bug types, the only bug type move in Gen 1 was Twin Needle. It could only be used by Beedrill. Beedrill absolutely sucks, and Beedrill's also poison type, so psychic types are super effective on Beedrill too. Oh, and remember when I mentioned ghost type? It actually glitched. Ghost type was supposed to be super effective on psychic type, but the glitch caused that ghost type did not affect psychic type. A very slight difference. Oh, and you think that's not bad enough? The only ghost type in the game is Ghastly, Gengar, Haunter, and they're also poison type, so psychic type super effective on them. Yeah, the glitches were just very cool in Gen 1. For example, Focus Energy accidentally caused your Pokemon's critical hit chance to lower instead of rise, because I guess they don't want you to focus on real life. Instead, they just want you to focus on this game. Critical hit. Self-destruct. If it's against a substitute or something, it meant that your Pokemon didn't faint. It self-destructed, bro! Yeah, there were a few really cool oopsies floating around. Like, for example, it was also glitched that moves like Wrap and Fire Spin, you know, the damage over time attacks. They also made it that your opponent couldn't attack for as long as it was trapped, which means Fire Spin means you get like 5 turns in a row. Yeah, that troubleshooting budget through the roof. But back to psychic types. All their Pokedex entries are like, ooh, Alakazam is an IQ of 5,000 because he was probably watching Rick and Morty. That said, it's used as a cockfighting pet, or it's productive with its days sitting in a cave forever. Yeah, I don't get the whole hierarchy here, but that is not the point. The point is, in the great adventurous world of Pokemon, you can just spread your wings and fly. Not if you're a Charizard, even if you have wings and are flying type, because he can't learn fly. Spread your wings like a Dodrio, you know, those flightless birds, they could learn fly. Spread your wings, fly, enjoy your adventure through the world, and remember, if you're a 10-year-old kid, definitely give back rubs to old sea captains. That's not cringy at all. Some people trying to convince me this is a puzzle game as opposed to an adventure game, and I don't know what they're talking about. I remember the gym puzzle to Lieutenant Surge's gym. That's not a puzzle! That's boot camp, I tell you! Alright, so that was Gen 1. I'm gonna have to start moving a little bit faster if I want to cover all 7 of these bad boys, so I have a feeling I will be going progressively faster through the gens. Let's make believe this was just a double dose as a loading dose to get through the entirety of this video. Gen 2 Pokemon still being woke because they introduced about 14 billion new Pokeballs. Very cool. Yes, the Ultra Ball is better than literally all of them, so it's really useful to get those Apricorns to bring to the Apricorn guy once a day to turn into these borderline useless Pokeballs, except for the Love Ball, because the glitch in Gen 2 was Love Balls caught opposing Pokemon of the same gender, but didn't work on Pokemon of opposing gender. Pokemon leading the charge of Love is Love. Very cool Pokemon. I was very traumatized to hear it was a glitch afterwards, but whoever, wink wink, stuck in that glitch, very cool. Good thing you were traveling all over the region daily to get those Apricorns anyway, because you were trying to catch those legendary dogs, which no matter how many Pokeballs you had, I guarantee you it was annoying AF. They'd jump around randomly. Even after they're asleep, they could goddamn run away. And honestly, I think it taught me an incredible life lesson. It's that no matter how much you try, it's all up to luck in the end. And if you want to follow your dreams, grab hold of them by the balls, well, sometimes you can't, because no matter how good at the game you are, it's all luck in the end. Welcome to the cruel real world of reality. Thank you, Pokemon, for implementing this. Definitely changed many lives and wasted many hours, but changed many lives. That said, it was pretty crazy. They introduced a ton of new Pokemon. This is the first time Pokemon were added to the initial 151, so that's really hype. So obviously everyone wants to make a team out of these new cool guys instead of the old ones. Well, that and they couldn't make a team out of the old ones because you pretty much couldn't get any evolution stones, so you couldn't use most of the good old Pokemon that you could actually catch unless you want freaking Growlithe the whole whole game. But why would you want Growlithe if you can get new dope Pokemon like Houndour, a new fire type, and it's also dark type? Oh, because you can only catch it in the post game. Well, that's a shame. But there are other cool dark types like Tyranitar. Oh, but you can only catch Larvitar in the post game. Okay, what about Murkrow? Oh, you can only catch Murkrow in the post game, and he sucks. So basically, what I'm trying to say is, with all these new Pokemon implemented, and the fact that you can't use the old ones, and the fact that all the best ones can't be caught until the post game, let's see all the wonderful options you're left with. You can either take a baby version of a previous Pokemon, which, like babies in real life, not exactly tactical masterminds, and half their moves involve crying. Or you can take some of these new hype, cool, woke Pokemon, but they suck balls, like Corsola, Sunflora, Ledian. Ledian's a freaking meme. Shuckle. More like Schmuckle. Got him. Dunsparce. Or, Unknown. You could take the F Unknown, because if anyone uses an Unknown, leave an F in the chat. That guy is F'd. So, due to process of elimination, your options for a team are your starter Pokemon, the Red Gyarados, and Ampharos. And you know what? Yet another life lesson taught to you by the brilliant creators of Pokemon. Sometimes you gotta cut your losses, and honestly, steamrolling the game with just Typhlosion, Red Gyarados, and Ampharos is the easiest way to win. Oh, but I must have forgotten Heracross. That is good stats, and it's a new Pokemon. What's the downside? Oh, it only learns normal type moves. Yeah, very cool. I mean, then again, so does Whitney's Miltank, and it'll destroy you every time you play the game. But that is not the point. Besides, this is the only game where you can enjoy the plethora of Zubats, since there aren't enough trainers to get EXP from, and you'll end up grinding against wild Pokemon, unless you're only training 3 Pokemon, which are still plenty to take down the Elite Four, the champion, and your rival Silver, who, granted, I was complaining about Gen 1 not having a story and having an absolute butt of a rival. Well, Silver has all that in spades. To be fair, Blue and Silver are both dope characters in the Pokemon Adventures manga, but in the games, Blue's entire personality traits can be summed up with the word douche, and Silver's can be summed up with the word edgy.
Help! He's trying to steal my Pokemon.
Shut up. Pikachu. Oh, you've got to be kidding me.
Also, it's really nice that even though there aren't that many trainers, you're still reminded that there are sometimes trainers, because you're given a cell phone that random trainers you fought throughout the entire gen could call you to say, "Oh, hi, I'm a bug catcher. Do you remember me? You totally wrecked my Weedle." Well, I'll have you know, it evolved into Kakuna. Insert penis hardened joke. Great speaking to you, bye. Wow, thanks bug catcher dick. Definitely needed to hear that. At least you can escape that blasted Johto region. Go back to Kanto, being that Johto didn't even have a Safari Zone. You'll have a good time in Kanto. You know, look at some of the landmarks you've missed from Gen 1. Like the Pokemon Tower. You know that creepy, really cool piece of lore and history where all the dead Pokemon are buried? Oh yeah, they traded this emotional cemetery for a radio station. Definitely showing the evolution of the world, because you don't give a damn about life anymore. Oh, that person died? That's very sad. I'll tweet about it. I am way too cynical for my own good. Gen 3! Pokemon continuing with its brilliant political commentary. Gen 1, they did a great job with Professor Oak asking if you're a boy or a girl, and showing how evil Team Rocket is that they don't hire women. Gen 2, love balls, catch Pokemon of the same gender. Thank you very much, Pokemon. But Gen 3, well, it does something even more powerful than them all. And that is environmentalism. Thank you so much for introducing some of the greatest villains in all of video game history. I can totally relate to all of their evil machinations. And I must say, Team Aqua just wanting the whole world to be water for absolutely no reason, and Team Magma wanting the whole world to just be land without water for absolutely no reason, were definitely great motivations for a villain that I can put my faith in. In fact, I was almost rooting for the villains. Their reasoning was so damn sound. I mean, to be fair, I'd rather make friends with the criminal mastermind leading a group of men that has the charisma to convince them a world would be better without water or without land than whoever ships their 10-year-old child in the back of a truck with their luggage when they move. Yeah, that's right. That's how you're shipped in the beginning of the game. Wow. And speaking of ships, can I just say, whoever was shipping Gardevoir with every living thing imaginable, making Gardevoir the OG anime trap, being that it's very exciting to see these sexy guys everywhere. And when I say everywhere, I mean even outside the Pokemon games. These things are goddamn everywhere. Thumbnails, memes, hentai, Guy. Inescapable. And also potentially Yandere, depending on the twist you spin on them. And also, speaking of ships, do you see these segways? Can we goddamn get a boat? Why the hell is there so much surfing in this game? We're on water more than on land. And all of a sudden, Team Magma makes sense once again. It's also cute that there were Pokemon specifically designed to be shipped with one another. I'm still on the ships, fam. You got Volbeat and Illumise, or Plusle and Minun, to be shipped with each other and used for double battles, which means even though in double battles they suck more than just 2 decent compatible Pokemon alone, they are absolutely worthless. Did they really need a Pikachu mascot that badly that they had to come up with Plusle and Minun? I mean, it's pretty damn cute, but I would not say double battles was the coolest game mechanic ever included, being that evasion began. Yes, Gen 3, an evasion stat came to being, and oh boy, that was pretty cool. Nothing more satisfying when your attack misses. Yeah, I love it when that happens. Just like I love how they removed features like a time system or a rival with a personality. Yeah, remember when I said in the past they were just douches or edgy? Well, Wally's a pussy, and your actual rival, well, doesn't actually have any words to describe their personality, being that they have none. I'd take edgy over personality of a brick. You just can't win. And as far as Wally, he just waltzes into the grass. First thing that pops up is a Ralts. Well, I tell you, I'm gonna sit in that one spot of grass he found that Ralts and turn sideways for 4 hours until I find myself one, which I probably won't do and move on out of pure sadness. But I will not give up on this quest. I will have a Ralts, I tell you. And my Gardevoir will be the sexiest goddamn guy on the face of the planet. Oh, and remember when I mentioned the time system disappeared? Yeah, I have a feeling they don't want you to realize that it's nightfall and you're still playing Pokemon. They want to lull you into fully getting absorbed into the game. So I think it's all a marketing ploy. I don't think it's just they were like, oh, it's dumb to make the game more realistic. No, I fully understand. Very cool. I'm doing the same thing. I mean, this video is gonna be like 14 hours long and you won't even realize it's still during the day since you're having such a fun time. That's right. Subscribe and like the video. Yay, hype. I'm not wasting any of your time with this. This is all extremely important information for your everyday lives, just like all my videos. See? That's exactly how it's done. But you know what's even more important than this video? That's right, Pokeblocks and contests. Did you even remember those? Well, I know I didn't before I started working on this video. Yeah, secret bases was a thing too. Remember that? Way to sell your idea. I remembered the Mudkip memes way better than I remembered Pokemon contests. And you know what? To be frank, the Mudkip memes were better. I still do think that the best part of this entire gen is the brilliant, villainous machinations of Team Aqua and Team Magma. I just can't get over how hilarious that is. It was the greatest evil plan of my childhood. And the greatest evil plan of my teen years was Team Flare. Coming soon to an honest description near you. Gen 4, ladies and gents. Not gonna lie, Gen 4 is an extremely hyped generation of Pokemon because, as we know, it was first to be revealed on the Nintendo DS, a Game Boy without just one screen, no, but 2 screens, and they'll make the full of it whether they should or shouldn't. You know how every region you get like a special watch or a special cell phone? You know, some cool trendy gadget that you hate and does nothing for you. Well, you get the Poketech after finding creepy clowns. By the way, having 10-year-old kids stroll around a town to find creepy clowns is weird, okay?
I'll fuck you in the ass!
But that aside, once accumulating the necessary clues and obtaining the Poketech, it can do incredible things like tell you the time. Yes, extremely useful. You know, for all the kids who are playing this to escape from real life, definitely want a reminder of the time on our Game Boys. And you know how we had like cool Pokemon contests? Well, you thought they were lame. Gen 4 Pokemon contests made them look extremely dramatic. No one wants to dress up your Pokemon. We want to kill other Pokemon, goddammit! Gen 4 anime had Paul. Paul was a trainer I could get behind. Grind your Pokemon hard. Get them to be powerful. Take down your opponents. Leave this wussy stuff for your rival. Oh yeah, your rival in the game. Biggest wuss freaking ever. Until now we had douches, edgelords are just uninteresting characters, but never have we had Shinji from Evangelion as your rival. He'd piss yourself before every match. In the good way, of course. But I'm not done with that second screen because in the greatness that was Gen 4, we had the underground. It was instead of walking around on your top screen, you'd be walking around on your bottom screen, mining for stuff like green orb. And if you collect 450 billion green orbs, you could trade it for legit nothing. I mean, I guess you found fossils down there, which was kind of cool. But not only did it take forever, and the guidance system was worse than Google Maps without internet, but no matter how much time you spend down there, there's no way in hell you'll be able to justify it for the rest of the game. And I mean that in a good way. Whoa! An entire new minigame within the confines of Pokemon. You're probably thinking that's very cool, and it is cool. I mean, granted, Minesweeper is a better experience, but hey, it doesn't have the Pokemon theme. You know, it does have the Pokemon theme, though. HMs. Like the 6 HMs you need to get through Mount Coronet, putting all your hard work and experience together to get a Bidoof that can basically serve the job as an HM slave until Bidoof himself became such a powerful meme, it took over Dorkly's channel. Very cool, Bidoof. Very cool. But as far as epic Pokemon designs, you know, Bidoof and B-Barrel, pretty dope. Not gonna lie though, they had an interesting theme with evolutions this season. Oh, Stunky? Well, I think Stunky should evolve into Fat Stunky. Oh, Purloin? Well, I think Purloin should evolve into Fat Purloin. Oh, Licky Tongue? Let's make Licky Tongue evolve into Fat Licky Tongue. Yeah, that design budget went through the freaking roof. But to be fair, you don't need to think about any of that because you can catch like 4 million legendaries in this game, and that makes them all individually seem legendary. I mean, you could catch Registeel that's making a Nazi salute, and you could catch God. What more do you want in a Pokemon game? You want a fire type? Well, no problem. You could start with Infernape. Oh, are you burnt out by the fact that he's also a firefighting type just like Blaziken? Well, no problem. Oh, I mean, yes problem. Because there's no other fire-type Pokemon in the game. Unless you're playing Platinum. At least Team Galactic is a level above Team Aqua and Team Magma in evil motivations. It went from Team Rocket wanting money to Aqua and Magma having the most ridiculous goals ever. And I mean ever. To Team Galactic, who just straight up wanted world domination. To be fair though, I actually really like Team Galactic. But one thing I gotta say, when the anime does the rival of the season way better than the game, you know there's an issue. To be fair, Paul was a dope rival. Link in the description to my analysis on Paul, and it will be linked at the end of the video. It was a dope video, if I do say so myself, because Paul was a dope character. Moving on, Gen 5, black and white, and notice how they put black before white, because, oh, do we get into the nitty gritty of society. Remember how in every single game prior to this when we had a casino? No casino in Gen 5. You know Pokemon like Cofagrigus? Well, Cofagrigus has fag in the name, so therefore it's not allowed to be traded. Fag is bad, even if it has nothing to do with the word fag. You know the second gym leader in the Japanese version wore this apron-looking thingy? Well, aprons are for cooking, and this is a whammon, and whammon are not allowed to be cooking anymore. Cooking is bad. Glad they censored it for the English version. Low-key, unironically, one of the best sensories in Pokemon, not gonna lie. Remember the Safari Zone, which we've had in every single game in some shape or form, even though the Great Marsh was ass? Well, it existed, but is this a zone for hunting and poaching? No more Safari Zone! Damn it, Pete has invaded the Pokemon world. At least we have these even newer type Pokemon contests that even suck more somehow to make up for that. And oh, we still have a firefighting starter because never had that before. Twice. And you know how legendaries got boring since you were able to catch like a dozen of them last game? Well, don't worry, we've solved that problem. Now there's a mythical Pokemon, and let that begin because now there's a million mythical Pokemon everywhere. Yes, Victini is more mythical than God, at least in the Pokemon world. I mean, I plan on doing an honest description on every legendary and an honest description of every mythical Pokemon, so feel free to subscribe. But I don't understand the term. Legendary means it's of legend, but it existed, whereas myth means it's also a legend, but it's made up. Myths never existed. That's what the word myth means. But then you have these mythical Pokemon running around. What's the implementation of this word? Someone help me please in the comments. It's been bugging me for years. And there's also some incredibly new Pokemon in this region. I don't mean to be so negative about everything. God, sometimes I just hate myself. I mean, we don't have Zubats anymore popping up everywhere. Now we have Woobats. Not to be confused with Zubats, they play a very different role in the game. It's not like the purpose is purely to annoy the player. No! Remember Tauros? Well, Bouffalont is Tauros, but with an afro. Remember Muck? This big pile of shit. Well, now we have Garbodor, an even bigger, less aesthetically pleasing pile of shit. But at least there's some cool new water types in this region. Not that you can go fishing until after you complete the game, and at least half the map is really cool in black and white. Not that you can access half the map until you complete the game. Yes, this is the most segregated Pokemon game of all time. I happen to love black and white in many ways, just like I've loved pretty much all these games that I'm making fun of, and I'm currently in the midst of hating myself for what I've been doing to all of them. That, and I'm also trying to speed up a little bit so this video doesn't end up 4 hours long. But moving on, Gen 6. So I was gonna start off with this whole sarcastic joke saying how Gen 6, the most difficult Pokemon game of all time. It was really hard to beat blindfolded. But I wanted to go a different route because I mentioned to my friend at one point that Gen 6 is really easy. And they're like, how could you say Gen 6 is easy? Come on! Have you played Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire? Those are way easier than X and Y. Basically handed me that one because they're still Gen 6! Bro, let's call a spade a spade. How many starters do you need to start the game with? You need to hand you your whole party in the beginning of the game? Every single player starts off with their starter, a Mega Kanto starter, and a Mega Lucario. And then you can have a really hard time deciding the rest of your party, even though you can catch like a Bagon right in the goddamn beginning. But to be fair, being that there are 6 starters running around, that means you have 5 rivals. Because 1 wasn't enough. And now you can divide all the personality that your other average rival had into 5, and then give these random personality traits to each of these 5 characters, making them totally believable people. But you're thinking, if you have so many rivals, and there are megas and starters everywhere, there must be so many new Pokemon running around. Well, nope, there are only 69 new Pokemon introduced to Gen 6, and that's because the creators were enjoying memes. Really? 69 new Pokemon? Pathetic, bro. But at least we got fairy types like Klefki, one of the most original Pokemon designs of all time. And Fairy didn't trigger anyone. You know how like Fairy is super effective on Dragon? Yeah, that always made sense to me too. Speaking of dragons, finally, after all this time, Charizard is at last a dragon. Well, Mega Charizard X, that is. And you know how there was always this debate within the Pokemon community? Potentially one of the biggest siding arguments of all time. I remember, it was in my youth, back in the days of yore. Venusaur, Blastoise, or Charizard. I personally was always Team Charizard, and I do think that Team Charizard was the largest. However, there were popular fan bases to the other two, and whoever was part of Team Venusaur got collectively spat on by the other two teams, which made Team Blastoise and Team Charizard more amicable to one another because they had someone that they could turn their anger against. Not the point. The point is the Pokemon creators decided for us at long last which is the best by giving Charizard 2 Megas with freaking awesome abilities. Very cool, Game Freak. Very cool. That didn't turn heads at all. That didn't spread memes saying, must suck to only have 1 Mega Evolution. Meme posted by Charizard Gang. But as far as plot in this game goes, there are 2 things I genuinely really wanted to talk about for a long time. The first would be Team Flare, which makes Team Aqua and Team Magma look like brilliant evil organizations. I mean, Team Flare's like, oh, we want to make beautiful stuff. So, to make things beautiful, we're gonna do things that make absolutely no sense. Cool, huh? I mean, it kind of sucks, because Team Flare's coming off Team Plasma, and N is one of my favorite characters in all of Pokemon. And then we get this sorry excuse for a bearded fellow telling me about beauty? How dare you? Don't you know beauty is subjective, you pompous twat? Well, to be fair, they did make Team Aqua and Team Magma look like super mastermind villains in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. So, very cool, Team Flare, very cool. And the second thing I wanted to talk about was AZ, because he had a freaking amazing story. Good thing he was in the game for like a full 3 seconds. Yeah, we didn't want that expanded on at all. Like maybe in the post-game we could have had something about, oh, there was no post-game to Gen 6. Very cool, Gen 6. Very cool. Gen 7 time, the world of cutscenes. That's correct. Remember when Pokemon used to be an adventure? You used to travel around this open world, making friends, picking fights. It's your personal journey. Well, now it's a tour group. You got cutscenes holding your hands, dragging you from one spot to the next. This isn't an adventure game anymore. Heck, there aren't even 8 gyms anymore. The Z moves, those don't look like Pokemon attacks. It looks like Power Ranger attacks. Whenever Pikachu finishes this weird dance move, he's gonna start summoning his Megazord. Why does every member of Team Skull talk to the camera like YouTubers? Why is Team Rainbow the bad guy when hashtag love is love? Why are Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon basically exactly the same as Sun and Moon when Pokemon Black 2 and White 2 were freaking amazing? So many questions and more answered in a future video. Because I think the biggest way I can honestly describe Gen 7 as far as being part of a Pokemon franchise is by not describing Gen 7. Loxton was right. Pokemon has ended. Well, unless there's still money to be made, because, while money is coming in, Pokemon ain't going out. Whammon and Gentle Whammon, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, feel free to leave a like and subscribe for future Pokemon and anime content, be it satire or analyses. Speaking of, feel free to check out my honest descriptions on every Pseudo legendary Pokemon or every starter Pokemon, and my analysis that I just uploaded a few days ago on Paul, the greatest rival in Pokemon. I highly urge subscribing for future badassery, if I do say so myself. And let me know in the comments what you want for future videos. Note, I really love every single one of the Pokemon games, but I also love making fun of them because I love making fun of everything I like. In a playful way, of course. I hope you enjoyed the sarcastic humor and weren't too off-put and offended by it. I understand if you were, never fear. I believe this video went on too long for a long outro. In the description, I have links to my Twitter. Feel free to follow me there. To my Patreon, feel free to donate. To my merch, feel free to pick some up. And to my Rant Cafe Podcast channel. Thank you all so much for watching, and have yourselves a most wonderful evening. But most importantly, remember to stay weird, fam.